watch that. It's cute.
I know. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to Tabletop Tuesday, where we talk about nerdy shit. And, you know, while I play some sort of game in the background.
Yeah.
Alright?
And you have an audience.
Yeah, I have an audience today. Also, with me is my partner in crime, Candid Gamera.
Hello, hello.
And we got a few announcements to get done before we get into the thick of things. First announcement is our sponsors, Shockbite Gaming Servers and W Energy Drinks. With Shockbite Gaming Servers, there's a link down below. You use it, and basically the servers start, and it helps you out, it helps me out. Servers start at $2.50 a month. It handles a ton of games, 95% uptime. And when I say a ton of games, I mean a lot. Too many to damn list. Every time. Just trust me, it's a lot of them.
Go back to your bedroom.
And then the other is W Energy Drinks.
Go to your bedroom.
They don't cost that much money. They have great reviews. And I can assure you, the taste is actually pretty good. And you get some interesting, cool shaker cups with it.
We'll deal with it later.
We also have the... Let me see if I can find it again, because I just accidentally put it away. We have a Google form accessible to people. And that Google form is Anne's cooking show. Basically, you guys get to decide what she is making for her cooking lesson.
Snack, buddy. You have to finish dinner before you get snacks. Go to bed, Danny!
There you go. There you go. Anne's cooking lesson vote. Oh god, I got something up my nose. I hate that.
Oh yeah, that sensation.
Oh. God damn. My apologies. Alright, so if you want to check that out, vote on what kind of things she's going to be doing. Bulletproof says, yeah, Danny, got to bed. Dude, he's 5. He's not going to listen much. We try. So there is that. If you want to vote, though, she'll be doing this lesson mid-October. And so she'll be on stream, on camera, doing some sort of cooking lesson for everyone. So there is that. Also, we got Stellaris Eterna, Season 3. Kids are crazy, I'm a father of 3. Yeah, I have 4 kids in my house right now. I have, mine are 8 and 5. Our roommates are 6 and 3.
Soon to be, we'll be 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be 4 tomorrow. It'll be 6 and 4 tomorrow. So, yeah. Did I do that right? Yeah, there I go. You guys get to select our next faction. Not select our next faction. You guys get to input your own faction into Stellaris Eterna. Hey, Strong! Welcome, buddy. By the way, if you guys use any check-ins, I will make sure to get your shout-out done as well. That's always the combination. You do a check-in, so I remember to give you credit in the Discord. I do a shout-out for you, so that way you also get the shout-out as well. Simple enough. But yeah, the 3rd season of Stellaris Eterna is not going to be anytime soon, but it will be in the future. And that's actually something we... God damn
it! Can't even get through the initial patter.
I know! I can't even do that with people not trying to torture my ass. God damn it. That's actually something we should discuss at some point. What we want to do for next season.
Sure.
And so, once we get the announcements done, we can get into that. Let me pull up my information on that. Yeah. Stellaris, where are you? Stellaris. There you go. I need that. Alright. So, other than that, for announcements, like I said, please make sure you do your check-ins. That always helps me out. Other than that, oh yeah, Wildcard Wednesday. I was trying to remember the last one. Wildcard Wednesday this week is Knights of the Old Republic. We're going to be doing that. If you want to add your own game, it's 5,000 critical rolls. to choose what game I play next on Wildcard Wednesday. After Knights of the Old Republic, next week is Dragon Age 2 again, and then after that, we're going to stick with Dragon Age 2 until another vote is done. So there's that. All right, my dude, my partner in crime, my assistant in galactic domination. All right, so we have played already the Sacrosanct Hegemony, and that didn't quite work.
No, you were too unpopular.
I was a little too unpopular. And second season is we did the United Earth Directorate.
That has been going better.
That has been going significantly better. So the next one I'm looking at doing, I think I'm going to do the Terran Supremacy. It's a military dictatorship, fanatic authoritarian militarist, and it's Earth. With a syncretic evolution, so I'll have a second subspecies on Earth. Ship appearance will be Imperial, and the triggering event for that faction... God damn it, Leroy, you are so dumb. Well, at least I got chicken. Walked away for a second. I hope you're good. Oh, I'm doing fine. Strawn, I hope you're doing great. The triggering event, though, for the world coming under one government was essentially World War III starting. Thank you, Strawn, for that. Those check-ins. Let me get that in there. Or Sotan. Srotan. There's Srotan. You're playing Life is Strange. Oh, that's a fun game. That is definitely a... Isn't that also the game that, like, they had Rick and Morty people in it? I want to say.
I want to say that's...
Nope.
A different game.
That's a different game. Life is Strange is the interactive story.
Yes.
Where you actually don't have any choices. It's just a story.
Yeah, you're exploring this story narrative.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game. I heard the Life is Strange series is pretty good when it comes to interactive fiction. I just don't care for interactive fiction myself.
Sure.
I like having choices in games and being forced to make certain choices, and that's the only choices I get, is kind of shitty for me. Might be also one of the reasons why I love playing D&D and Pathfinder.
Sure.
Hey, Grim! How's it going, buddy? He's lurking. But anyway, yeah, the triggering event for the Terran Supremacy was a World War III essentially starting. And the group that came out on top was fanatic, authoritarian, and militarist. So I figured I'd let you know that, Gamera, and see what you would want to play in combination with that.
I mean, I haven't got, like, firm ideas for next time, because it's out there a little ways, but I'm thinking I want to try some kind of variation of spiritualist, because I normally do materialist pretty consistently, and want to try the spiritualist side.
I can tell you that spiritualist does have one major advantage. And that is unity.
Yeah.
Like, you are a unity-producing fiend. So, once you unlock the ability to get research speed with Unity, you definitely can do some really kooky shit with it. So, that might be a thing. So, I might be the I'm going to take over the frickin' galaxy and kind of enslave people kind of shit, and you could be the soul of our group.
Indeed.
I feel kind of weird about that. Like, Like, we're here to share our religion, and I'm like, I'm here to basically kick ass and take slaves, and I'm all, I'm all out of bullets.
Don't go with slavers. Slavers suck.
Oh, no. I'm not going to take the slaver, what's the word I'm looking for? Ethos?
Right.
I'm not taking that. But I am going to have a tiered society.
Hey,
Okay.
Hi.
can I have one piece of tape? I'm making a project. It's not a sign.
Okay.
One piece of tape.
You need one piece of tape? I don't have any tape.
Just one.
Oh, you mean this tape? Go take that to the other adults. So if you go with tiered society, it actually tends to cause you to have a slavery-like system.
Sure, it can be some kind of caste system, for instance.
Yeah. So there is that. I'll see how well it works. Alright. So with that being said, let me pull up the game. Hi there. So I'm playing 14 while we're talking, and actually before we get too far into this, let me add another thing to it. Display capture. Yeah, display capture 4. Automatic. Yeah, we'll do automatic. Alright, so with that being said, where is... I know you're here. There you are. Alright, the wheel! We haven't brought this out in a while. I think everybody remembers, well, most of the people here remember the wheel.
Sure. Our old friend, the wheel.
The wheel of topics, or wheel of torture. So for 100 critical rolls, you guys can add something to the wheel.
This is a Smurfy count.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
I mean, just look at
Went
you.
quiet
You
all of a
look like
sudden.
the oasis
Because
to some
there's a
very,
bunch of check-ins.
very thirsty travelers.
I see.
That metaphor makes me
Coat of buns.
uncomfortable.
Yep, coat of buns there. Alright, I also replaced the bullet fam check-in. It's no longer just gunfire. It's Tim Curry and Clue going, you see, there are no bullets left in this gun, and then he fires the gun.
Ah, one of my favorite clips.
I love that movie so much. It's such a ridiculous movie, but it is so stupidly fun.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites.
It is not the first movie I ever saw Tim Curry in, though.
Let me guess. Legend?
No.
No?
I actually didn't see Legend until I was in college. Which is really weird. Sorry, I've been away the last few games. How are you? I am doing fine, Coda. I hope you are having a great evening as well. Now, the first Tim Curry movie I saw was actually The Three Musketeers. Where he would play Cardinal Wishblue.
Okay. Yep. I remember that one.
And that was really cool. Like, I did see him, like, sort of in the second Home Alone movie, but I didn't know who he was.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I didn't really care about his character. It didn't click for me, and I didn't give a shit.
Right.
But the first movie that I heard him, and I actually recognized him, and, like, he clicked for it with me, was The Three Musketeers. I did realize later on he did the toxic guy in Fern Gully.
Oh, yes. Fern Gully. Oh, man, we're hitting all the old hits today.
Yeah, last few games, LOL. It's a-okay, Shroton. It's okay. People have issues, getting here all the time. I don't fault anybody for that. How's life? Life is... life. I'm surviving. I wish it was better, but, I mean, fuck, man, it could be worse. Hey, Reese Goated. What?
The thing Crystal just sent you
Okay.
is priceless.
The second one?
Not that one. It should be, or she hasn't sent it yet.
Okay.
She will send it to you, and you
All
will
right.
love it. I gotta go stop.
But yeah, no, Fern Gully was definitely a classic for Tim Curry. I did watch Legend later on, and that was great. Same with Clue. I didn't see Clue until I was in college, not high school. So there was that. What's another Tim Curry film I saw him in? I'm trying to remember. I remember him heavily from Red Alert 3.
Of course.
I loved that game. That game was hilarious.
You could see his performance from Spice!
Spice! I'm going to go to the one place that your godless capitalism has not infected. Spice!
I assume that you've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I have seen Rocky Horror Picture Show. That was in high school, but that was after The Three Musketeers for me.
Sure.
Let's see, what else has he done? He was Darth Sidious and Chancellor Palpatine in the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah. Did you know?
I didn't know
well,
that.
go ahead. I was going to say, did you know that he almost played Joker in the Batman animated series?
That's not surprising. I love that Mark Hamill did it, though. Mark Hamill did an amazing job.
Yeah, they had basically done test footage with Tim Curry, and they were getting ready to go with him, but then I guess they liked Mark Hamill's audition so much they signed him up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it makes sense. He was also Commissioner Gordon in Young Justice.
Okay.
Didn't know that. What else is there? Alice. He was Arl Rendon Howell in Dragon Age Origins.
Ah, yes.
I didn't know that. That's neat. I knew he was in Brutal Legends. He was the one of the main villains. So there was that.
Not happy with you.
He was in Barbie and the Three Musketeers. What the fuck, man? That's weird.
The man has worked consistently throughout his career. He has done a little bit of everything.
He's in Monty Python.
Okay.
He's in Spamalot on Monty Python. Holy shit, man. That's wild. Trying to see if there's anything else I recognize. Let's see if I recognize anything else. Samurai Jack, he was in. He was one of the worms, apparently. He was the narrator for Tales of the Crypt, from the Crypt. That's expected. I kind of figured he would do something like that.
Go to bed.
Botha? Or Mutro Botha?
Danny,
From Batman Beyond?
Okay.
I don't know who the hell that is.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
The Net, he was the sorcerer in the Net. Gomez Adams in Adams Family Reunion.
Yes, he did pick up that role after Raul Julia's unfortunate passing.
Yeah, that hurt. He played a Russian in McHale's Navy. What a shock. They keep pegging him for Russians.
Well, they like casting him in flamboyant, villainous roles, so...
Yeah, speaking of flamboyant, villainous roles, Dr. Anton Zavarius from Gargoyles.
Yes.
What else is there? Wait, he was in Wing Commander. I remember that. He was in the third one.
This is the Smurfy count.
Oh, I'm after work. I'm off to bed. No
I
problem.
mean, just look at you. You look like the oasis to some very, very thirsty travelers.
Oh, gotta get some
That
water.
metaphor makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Love you, child. Go to bed. Bye-bye.
Go to your room now.
All right, yeah. Either way, that's Tim Curry. Tim Curry's done so much shit.
You guys could use it when I didn't
Oh
say
man.
that. Now get painter's tape.
All right, let's see what we get for the wheel.
Go, Brian.
RPGs you would most like to try. All right.
I think we might have done this one a long time ago, but, you know, the answers, of course, have changed in some cases.
Probably. For me, I'd like to try Mechton Zeta. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah.
That looks fun. It's a giant mecha RPG. That would be a blast.
I made a bunch for a reason.
Let's see what else is
figured
there.
the adults would like them more than the kids would.
RPG. Let's see what I have for books. Let's see. Avatar: The Last Airbender RPG would be kind of neat.
Sure.
I have never played Call of Cthulhu. That is something I have relatively missed.
Okay, so Crystal sent that, and it's something that you need to watch, and watch with your stream.
Why?
Now there is foul language in it, but it is okay foul language because it's nothing nobody hasn't heard before.
Okay.
But it's funny.
Apparently, I've been given a video to play for everyone.
Do we want to do that after we finish answering this question?
Yeah, we'll do it
good.
after we finish answering the question. Alright. Let's see. What else do I have that I want to try? Shadowrun. I wouldn't mind trying Shadowrun.
Do not hit
Sure.
the things on the bottom of Mr. Kenny's chair.
And I
Because
wouldn't
he will not be
mind
happy with
giving
you.
Starfinder
Do you want to sit in my lap?
another try. If maybe like a pre-gen adventure to see how they balanced it.
You either stomped everything or got yourself stomped.
Because like the random encounter suggestions they had in the book were not very great. It was either like super easy fights or you got stomped hard.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe trying a pre-gen adventure and seeing how that works would be an interesting idea. Alright, so how about you? You've had a wider array of RPGs than I have.
Well, let me think. I have recently picked up an RPG called Dragonbane that seems very, like fantasy medieval adventure, but I'm intrigued by it just because it's one of those RPGs that sort of took D&D's place in foreign countries, because like different countries have different RPGs that kind of rise to the top. So like you've got The Dark Eye, which is really popular in Germany and competes with D&D, and in Japan apparently Call of Cthulhu is just like selling like gangbusters.
Yeah, the other system I've heard in Japan that does well is Besom.
I think they have these backwards.
I have never heard that, but I mean,
I think it's supposed to be
maybe.
7.
Um,
Lot number this.
the thing with BESM is that it was essentially out of print for 20 years, so maybe it's doing hot gangbusters now that it's back for its 4th edition.
Oh yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah. Final Fantasy 14 Soton. That's what we're playing in the background while we're talking.
Yeah. But Dragonbane is basically a translation by Free League of a, I want to say Scandinavian, but I think it's specifically Swedish RPG called Drakar och Demoner, which is basically dragons and demons. And yeah, it just in Scandinavia, that I think it's a RuneQuest derivative, like way back when, or maybe maybe Rollmaster. But
oh man, that brings back memories. Damn.
Yeah, Rollmaster. I'm glad I played Rollmaster once. I'm content with once.
I never tried it, but I knew of its existence.
I mean, the fun thing about Rollmaster was the critical hit tables, which were just absurdly specific. I remember the brief campaign someone ran us through, and it might have gone like 2 or 3 adventures, but like your cleric, your quote-unquote healer with, minor magic, because the Lord of the Rings setting, you're not like wielding vast powers like a D&D wizard. It's more subtle. So like the healing spells that my cleric character had access to was like repair minor nasal injury, and that's because in the critical hit tables you could get things like a broken nose, which would give you a penalty until it had healed or had magic applied to it. But like, yeah, one of the critical hits on the archery table was like the arrow going in some guy's ear and out the other side perfectly, and it says "nice shot" at the end of the critical hit description. It just always made me chuckle. So yeah, I'd love to try Dragonbane. In the near future, my group and I are going to be playing some Kids on Bikes for a session.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that because that's going to be, just a really lightweight, more narrative driven in the style of like Goonies or Stand By Me or Stranger Things. It's specifically written for Stranger Things, though. Like, one of the things in Kids on Bikes that is a specific thing the system does is everybody has their own character, but then there's a shared character that has powers, like Eleven from Stranger Things. And every player at the table controls some aspect of the powered character, which is kind of weird.
That is kind of weird. Though, you did remind me of one other system I've been wanting to try, but I keep forgetting that exists.
Okay.
And that is Star Trek Adventures.
Sure.
I'll give you a good chunk of fruit.
I do want to give that a shot one day.
It's nummy, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, that would be interesting.
But isn't it tasty?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's 434, so about
I
that.
bought it in March. Right,
But yeah, I remember Rollmaster. I never touched it myself.
And I could get the cuts I wanted that I knew my family would
And that was kind of neat. The RuneScape, I only remember the video game version of RuneScape. I never actually tried the tabletop with the same name.
I was like,
that was never in my wheelhouse.
So I like.
I'm gonna say, like, I'm also gonna caveat this, like, say, what is like one system you regret ever trying? Like, you really is like, I wished I never touched this system.
Oh,
Exalted.
that's. I mean, Exalted. I heard her.
Yeah, that's Anne, by the way, everybody. That's my wife, and hers was Exalted.
I mean,
kissing
in
their
her
boo-boos
case,
and slapping the
I
bitch who made the
understand that was a
boo-boo.
horrible gaming group, but Exalted is pretty busted.
Yeah, but the people being in charge can ruin an entire system for you. Like,
Yeah.
I will not play anything White Wolf Werewolf. Because every single werewolf game I've played in has just been shit.
That would
I'm
be.
trying not to talk over the folks in the background.
I'm sorry. That was Naja.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating dinner.
I mean,
Dinner, prepping for a birthday party.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that's
So,
like.
on the 16th is your birthday party, remember?
I will say that I've had bad sessions, but I've never played a system that I considered utterly irredeemable. Like, it wasn't like the system ruining my fun. I think we did talk a little bit about the Dragon Ball Z RPG, which had gross imbalance issues and practicality issues. It's one of the worst ones that I've actually played, like, mechanically speaking. But I didn't regret the experience because then the GM took that and iterated on it and made a better one. I'm trying to think if there have been any other games. I will say that I've had bad experiences with, like, the one session I've played of a game. Like, my one experience with Savage Rifts. It's not a fault of Savage Worlds, which is the core system. It's not a fault of the Rift setting. It was just the GM being very, very combat optimal, killy, and borderline adversarial. And it was like, this is not the system's fault, but the system's not helping. Yeah, I don't think that I would look back on any of the systems I've played and say, I wish I hadn't spent the time to play that. I've had fun with any system as long as the GM's good. That is the core of what makes a fun experience, I think.
Have I ever given
What
you
about
the
you?
impression that I was turned off by crazy?
Give me a
Okay,
second. Let me
point
think.
taken.
It's chewy.
If I'm gonna put a statement on anything when it comes to a system I regret playing, it is the LARP version of WoD.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, the Rubenmeister. Alright, so let me get this taken care of real quick. Squidgy, hey, how's it going? Big Stanley, thank you for the lurk. Chris Snowballs, I'm doing fine. Hopefully you're doing great. Oh yeah, we're getting a whole bunch of people tonight. Woohoo! But yeah, the live action version of WoD has just been consistently bad for me, with the exclusion of one game I experienced up in Pittsburgh. Everything else has just been terrible.
Sure.
And so I do feel bad for saying that, but it's also, as you pointed out, I think, and so did the ladies behind me, the people you play with can sometimes ruin a system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my computer's acting up again. That's weird. Something like came flashing up on my screen and I couldn't get rid of it for a moment.
Huh.
That was really frustrating. And I feel that's why I don't care for WoD that much.
Sure.
The only other one that even comes close to me sort of regret ever trying it was 4th edition D&D.
Okay.
I don't like totally regret playing it, but like I feel a level of regret wasting time getting involved in a campaign with it.
Okay.
Because when I played it, it felt very much like, hi, we wanted to do an MMO on tabletop gaming because MMOs are popular right now. So, here you go. Here's your MMO on paper. And I'm sitting there going, if I wanted to play an MMO, I'd just fucking play an MMO.
Absolutely.
It makes no goddamn sense for me to do this. Alright, am I fucking this up? Okay, it says I'm supposed to be Churning Mists.
Was that Nami's?
X8 34. So, yeah, I did mess that up. X8.
The nice part about this is because it is literally just apple puree.
Oh, okay, it's over there.
It's been dehydrated down with lemon juice.
I'm flying on a chair now. Woo!
Most of the nutrients.
But yeah, you know, like we keep saying, it's the GM that makes or breaks. So I'll talk briefly about my 4th edition experience. I'm fine with it. It doesn't engage with me the way that I do with other editions. Like, I can have a real blast with 3rd edition or 5th edition, and on 4th edition, it's like I have turned off entire parts of my brain that I normally engage for RPG stuff, because all I'm doing is optimizing where my combat attacks, like which parts of the grid that they hit. And that's fine. You know, you can have an engaging experience that way on a purely tactical level. But it's not as full an experience for me as some of the other editions. So I don't regret the time I spent playing 4th edition, though of the 2 GMs I had during the 4th edition era, one of them was kind of flaky and, you know, very combat grindy, and the other was a great GM but turned out to be just kind of an asshole, you know, person. So I will say that I don't necessarily think that time was time well spent, but it wasn't because of the system.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. I'm trying to think of any other system I want to try. I've done Bessem before. And, oh boy, did I build a broken combat character.
You are so smart.
Alright, so this fun story was we were doing an Utana game. And it was played by post.
You know what starts with a B?
Alright. Now, I did build my guy as a duelist. His favored weapon was a whip.
Yeah.
Because I wanted something with reach.
Miss Tina and Miss Charlie told him that tomorrow they get.
And because I didn't understand the Japanese culture that well, I decided that I was going to play a foreign exchange student from America.
Okay.
Valid.
All right, which works.
It's
Oh,
true.
oh God. Okay, so give me a second. I
Roll,
have a
come here.
slight interruption,
You're gonna stay
but
over
it's
here
amusing.
so you can't see.
An armadillo is nothing more than a possum in heavy armor. Would you say that's accurate?
More, Mister.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Sorotan is loving Beth's little food goblin. We got Beth the food goblin. Yay!
Do you know what Fort starts with?
So, my guy was originally not supposed to be like the head duelist. Like, I didn't build him to be that kind of a character.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
Chris just did redeem.
I mean, just look at you. You look like the oasis to some very, very thirsty travelers.
That metaphor makes me uncomfortable.
I'm gonna forever love the Oasis check-in and the Bullet Fam check-in now. Because of the whole, Tim Curry sound effect and
You know what that is?
Sword Art Online abridged
Yep.
one. That one was great. I'm glad I found it. But anyway, in this Bessem game, a couple of my friends decided they wanted to be the Rose Bride, not the duelists.
Mm-hmm.
So we had multiple people trying to vie for the Rose Bride position versus the duelists.
Sure.
And it was funny because, like, I'm sitting there going, okay, whatever, I'll just be the duelist. And I'm sure there'll be other duelists. No, everybody went Rose Bride, nobody went duelist. I was the only fucking duelist player.
Well, I guess you win then.
Well, I mean, there were NPCs I could fight.
Sure.
And with the way I built him and how he was socially inept, because I built him as a social inept character, I was raffle stomping everything that came close to me. Like the first poor NPC I ran into, I didn't understand the rules of the game much, like in character, like the whole dueling thing, and I proceeded to locate my knee into genitals and attempt to relocate his genitals into his throat. And they're like, this is really, not accepted in their society. And I'm like, I don't know this. What do you want from me? But it was a fun little game. I remember that.
It's a seashell.
One of Rose's things from her birthday cake.
Alright. I feel we covered that topic unless you have anything more to add.
Not really.
Alright. Wheel spin!
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright, best player experienced.
No, you don't need any credit.
Alright, let's hear what you got for this one, my dude.
Best player experienced? Like, the best player I've had in my campaigns?
Either in your campaigns or a campaign you've been in.
Oh, I see. Someone I could have played alongside.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There are so many great players that I've had the privilege to sit at the table with. And, our mutual friend Mike is always entertaining. I love the way his mind works.
He's honestly, in my opinion, the best spellcaster player I've ever encountered.
But
I will say this about him.
Oh?
He is one of the worst melee characters I've ever had the privilege of being with.
Okay.
He can't do beat stick to save his life.
Sure. I mean, I'm not even talking about how, skilled someone is at systems or even, roles. I'm just talking about the general vibe of their presence at the table.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would say that probably one of my top players of all time is my friend Kurt, who is also a great GM. But Kurt, I think what makes a player great in many circumstances is that ability to think just differently enough from the party to not be disruptive, but to provide them with unexpected options and direction. And Kurt always delivers. Like, every Kurt character is a banger. It doesn't matter what we're playing, his character will be entertaining. In my Ravenloft game, he made Drogo, who was basically I was running the premise of an adventurers academy in Ravenloft. Everybody else was making adventurers. Drogo's job was training to be a professional henchman. He wanted to be serving some master to, motivate them on to greater glory. And it was absolutely entertaining. In a space game I ran, he was like this sleazy little tour guide. Like, everybody else was coming into this new sector of space from outside of it, but he was a local that had signed on board to be a tour guide and just, direct them to all the cool things within the sector. And like in my Legion of Superheroes game from a couple years back, he decided to combine the powers of two of the most useless Legionnaires from the actual comics to make a new character that was just absolutely hysterical. And to be very brief for your audience, two of the members of the Legion of Superheroes are Triplicate Girl, who can split into three ordinary, non-powered women. Basically she's three people that can combine into one person. And then there's Matter Eater Lad, whose power is eating anything. Anything that's solid matter, Matter Eater Lad can eat it.
Give it to me now.
And these are not great powers. But Kurt made a character that combined these are racial powers too. Like, everybody on Matter Eater Lad's planet has that power. Everybody on Triplicate Girl's planet has her power. So he made a hybrid, someone whose mom was from one planet, dad from another planet, so he had both powers. He could split into three people that could eat anything, and he called his character Banquet Boy, and it was fucking hysterical.
I love the idea. I love it.
Go to bed.
So yeah, Kurt is one of my all-time favorite players. He is difficult to schedule with. He often doesn't feel like coming out. But if he does, I always try to make room for him at the table, because every time he comes up with a character, it is an absolute banger.
Yeah, and that's always good to have. I'd say that's my problem I've had with Mike, and Mike is definitely one of my top players that I've experienced, is that he just is really bad about showing up to game. But, But when he shows up, oh my god, dude, he rocks.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I tried for so long to get him into my Call of Cthulhu game. We even got through like character generation for him over Discord, and then it just sort of fell through, and then he ended up moving a little bit north to make it inconvenient enough that it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Danny, go
That's
to bed.
Unfortunate. I will say, for me, there are certain people I have in mind when it comes to, how do I put this? How do I put this? I'm trying to think of how to word this. There's certain people it comes to my mind when it comes to playing certain types of characters.
Sure.
Victorian is watching me. Oh, we are being watched. So, like, for instance, when it comes to skill characters, you come to mind. And it's not just because of your proficiency, but it's also you've played memorable characters of that category.
Sure.
And that's what sticks with me. It's like Barton Kendo was a great example of that in the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was entertaining. It wasn't your stereotypical smuggler.
No, he was very much not a stereotypical smuggler.
So that worked out. And then also the character you played in the Game of Thrones like game was also a fun character.
The all-terrain bard.
Yeah, the all-terrain bard.
That's what you're getting. You're not getting.
And so, like, both of those really stand out. When it comes to magic casters, Mike stands out for that, mainly because of what he did with The Good Doctor. Because that was terrifying. For an artificer, though, surprisingly, my friend Marsh is really the one who stood out. He kept coming up with all kinds of kooky ideas of trying to incorporate almost near World War II tech into fantasy and getting it to work.
Danny, Ben,
And it's not the tech that you would think. You're probably thinking like, oh, he's probably got like he's trying to do aircraft or artillery or, you know, guns and shit. And I'm like, yeah, that was part of it. But he also incorporated other fun things like MREs. And he was developing like long-lasting food technology and shit. It was just like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? What the hell is going on? It was great. Divine casters. If anybody stands out for a divine caster for me, other than Mike's cleric wizard combo, it would be my friend Amanda and her character that ended up ascending to godhood in my book.
Okay.
She actually figured out how to gain godhood. And she earned that shit. Which is kind of amusing. So there is that.
I think Miss Angelica already checked the mail.
I miss Sadie and her stuff. Sadie's stuff was always entertaining.
Yeah.
So there was that.
No. Roland,
All right.
stay here.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. Like,
Miss Angelica already checked.
don't get me wrong, Dalton's good, and I like him, but he hasn't been that that chunk of memorable for me.
Sure. And I will say that Dalton, once he overcame his tendency to play the edgy McEdgelord, was a good bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Darth Airlock or Darth.
Oh, yes, Darth.
Oh my god. I love how he earned that nickname too, Darth Airlock. He didn't have to airlock the dude, but he did it. It's like, come on. Oh my god, that was fun.
Knock it off. There better not be food in that room.
Go ahead.
I was stumbling for a second. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that
I'm not happy with you.
I think most of the players who've been at my table have brought something interesting to it. I do have a few bad ones that I don't game with, but most people are good enough or interesting enough that they stick around. So everybody's got something that really entertains or brings some energy to the table. And so I just really appreciate the players that I've had in general.
I could agree with that. I feel like, if anything, my live action games have been probably where I've found the worst players, and my tabletop games have been where I found the best players.
I think that is generally true, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Your dinner. Go to bed. Rose,
But
go
that's
to bed.
just me.
Go to bed.
Alright, so we've answered that question, I believe, to sufficient level. Alright, let's see what we got here.
Rose, no. Put him down and go to bed. You
Oh,
had
boy.
dinner, now knock it off. Go.
Least fun character
Well, now
played.
you're eating all your dinner. Now go to bed. Brad, out of the kitchen.
All right.
I'm not in the kitchen.
Go to your room too.
Alright, oh, where am I gonna go with this? Because there are so many damn options. I feel like I'm gonna separate this from tabletop to live action.
Go to your room.
Okay.
My least favorite character I've ever played in Tabletop was the first live-action character I've ever played. Sorry.
Wait, so it was a tabletop and a live action?
Sorry, no, I meant to say live-action, and my brain just fucked up.
Okay.
So, the least favorite live-action character I've ever played was the first live-action character I ever played. Yes, I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV, Freya. I actually do love this game. And there goes the fireball. I do love playing this game. I enjoy it. It's just, I haven't played it in a while, and I felt like I need to start playing it again. Because I do miss it. And I felt like fishing and chilling while we talk was kind of the way to go! Squidgy, I both love you, but at the same time, please take this. Don't take this phrase to heart. Fuck you, buddy. God damn it! The fireball scared out a facehugger. Of course it did, assholes. Oh my god. All right. So the first live-action character I've ever played was a Lasombra vampire.
I mean, just look at you. You look like the oasis to some very, very thirsty travelers.
A local live-action game here.
Metaphor makes me uncomfortable.
Thank you, Farah, for the check-ins. I appreciate that. His name was Lotharian. He was a Lasombra. It was with the Sabat. And this Sabat game acted like the most cam Sabat you would ever see.
No, Brenna.
So, normally, the Sabat is supposed to be every pack kind of maintains themselves. I found this out later. I didn't know this when I first played the game.
Yeah.
And that the city's bishop is not in charge of the whole city. His job is to guide the packs spiritually.
Sure.
Alright? He has no command role, per se.
Right.
But he if anything, he's like the herder for a gang of cats.
Yeah.
All right. He just points them in the right direction. And go, there's the problem. You guys figure out how to take care of it. Here in town, though, in our wonderful West Virginia town, they did not play it that way.
Okay.
They played it as the bishop had absolute power over the city. Which is kind of a problem. So because of that, I was involved in an attack on the Capitol here, in-game, and it was like my first or second game I've ever played, and they had me involved in a major attack, and Mark Pack's job was to hunt down the prince and kill the prince and the sheriff, if not capture. Alright? Now you're probably sitting there going, okay, this is slightly annoying, maybe a little over your pay grade, but I mean, you could swing it. If it wasn't for the fact that they were in the attic...
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
They were in the attic of a building, and down the stairs, and we were on the first floor, so down multiple flights of stairs, they were lobbing white phosphorus grenades. So we were basically boned. The pack that was sent to kill them, basically the little inner clique of the game, didn't like these players. So purposely went out of their way to kill every single one of them. Though one of them ran away, which was our my friend Andy's character, and he got to live.
Hooray!
Even though he was showing cowardice. I did not find out until later that according to the Sabat rules, according to the book, dude was supposed to be set on fire. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. I hated that game though, and I hated playing that character. It was the LARPing character I had the least amount of fun with. Alright, so what character did you have the least amount of fun with?
Again, basically the character that I have the least amount of fun with depends on the GM that's running, and I've got a couple of good examples. back in college, I think, was this the first time I tried a World of Darkness game? I think it was.
I find it funny that both of our first worsts, are both WoD games.
Yeah.
I feel like that brings out the worst in people.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think that there is something about World of Darkness games that bring out the worst in people. Now, that's not to say you can't have fun at them. That's not to say that good people don't play them. I just think that there is something that is brought out by those games that just, yes, it attracts people who are of this particular bent. So the one I had in college that was so frustrating, and I actually had 2 bad experiences with this guy. It was a guy named Adrian, his real name, but he basically vanished after after sophomore year, so we don't know what the fuck happened to Adrian. And we were playing Vampire: The Dark Ages, and so we were all playing, relatively powerful vampires of different clans. I had a Tremere. It was a good time. And my character was basically the nicest motherfucker you could be, assuming that, you'd look past the whole vampire thing. He refused to kill humans, and would only feed on willing humans, and otherwise, basically just, he would not kill humans. So he had a very high humanity score. In the course of that chronicle, he actually made friends with some goddamn Garu.
I have a story when you're done.
Okay. But the issue was that Adrian was a frustrated author type GM, which is very railroady, very prone to seizing control of people's characters. And so he ruined the whole game. And not just my character, but he ruined the whole game by essentially dictating to people what their character actions would be. So one of the other vampires in the group basically at one point was told, like, he pointed at me and said, "You now consider him your mortal enemy." And I'm like, what the fuck? You can't just do that. This is not your character. This is his character. But that was kind of the bullshit that we had to put up with Adrian. That sort of soured me on that experience, and it was quite some time before I played World of Darkness again.
Go to bed.
Yeah. I completely get that. That is some heinous shit, my dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Why do you think when yours throws fit, I can just ignore it so easily? It's like,
Alright, I'm gonna put that over there. I just realized I needed that.
since she was 2.
Yeah, I can see that being a really shitty time. And I can tell you from my experience here in town, in West Virginia, I've encountered that a lot more often in the LARPs. Where if you weren't in the little clique, you got fucked. Like, so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so, remember, I mentioned just a moment ago that I had a story when you were done.
Yep.
All right. So, huh?
Forget.
Don't forget what?
What Crystal sent you.
I will.
It's hilarious.
I will get to that. I promise. So I was playing in a LARP, and it was a multi-venue LARP. So instead of just vampires, instead of just werewolves, we had a little bit of everything. We had vampires, werewolves, mages, and I forget what the 4th group was. I think humans.
Like
right?
hunters or just normal humans?
This was old WoD, so just normal humans that just happen to have a lot of guns.
Ooh.
Alright, so that's just, they're sick.
Your audio cut out for a second after I asked if they were humans or normal hunters.
They were humans.
Okay.
Just humans with a fuck ton of firearms.
So, small H hunters.
Yeah, small H hunters, not big H. Not blessed by God hunters, but, hey, with enough bullets, we can take care of most problems.
Right.
The Scooby Gang, if you will.
Sure.
So, I played a vampire. In particular, I played a gangrel. And the gangrel type job I did was I was a night shift police officer.
Okay.
All right. So I was very much like, let's do things by the book. Let's follow the laws. I was actually pretty lenient on humans. The only humans, unlike your character, who wouldn't kill humans at all, the only humans my character would kill were criminals.
Sure.
Like ones that the law just could not take care of because they kept avoiding it. And my guy would take, the law into his own hands.
Like you do.
All right. The funny thing is this. I made friends with the Geru in the city better than I made friends with the other vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that I ended up sleeping in the basement of my house, because that's where I lived, and I let the Geru live on the first and second floor of my house.
Mm-hmm.
I had daytime werewolves hanging out in my house.
I mean, that is awesome.
It worked out beautifully, because one of them was the trickster, the new moon.
Ragabash.
Ragabash. They're very tricksterous, very cool. The other was straight up Rahu. Like, I'm gonna fuck up people. Like, the dude only did 3 things primarily in character. It was drink, fight, and fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That was his shtick. But he was not like the angry drunk. He was the super friendly drunk.
Sure.
Like, he wanted to be everybody's buddy. One of the humans made friends with the werewolves. I remember this.
I did not call for you.
And one of the players of the vampires had the flaw Thirst of Innocence. And so he noticed this human, how she was very nice, very kind, didn't want to hurt people, was, relatively an innocent character. But she was under the protection of the werewolves, saying, do not fuck with this girl, she's one of ours. Like, we're protecting her.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? This player, which his name in real life was Gwendaff.
I am talking to Rose. Go.
I'm not sure if you ever met him.
I think I would remember that name.
Okay.
No. Danny, go to bed, Daniel.
Give me 1 second, everybody. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that, folks. Child aggro. I had to help with it. and hopefully we'll figure out how, she hopefully gets better here shortly. So I left off with the vampires doing something to a werewolf protection. Person.
You were talking about the fun drunk guy and the character, the player's real name, which was Windart? What?
Windav.
Windav.
Yeah. His family is English.
Okay.
Yeah. It's apparently something from where they grew up. I don't understand.
Okay.
Anyway, so Gwendav's vampire had thirst of innocence. So he not only ate the ward, he embraced her as a Tremere. Which, because he was a Tremere, and naturally this pissed off all of the werewolves.
Yep.
Which ended up starting a little conflict between the Camarilla vampires in town and the werewolves. Hi, child. Can you please go to bed? I know you're unhappy. Can you please go to bed? I'm sorry for doing this again. Hopefully that's the last time that happens. But I probably won't be so lucky. I do want to apologize to everybody watching for the constant breaks. I have children. Sometimes they don't always listen. It's a thing.
Welcome back.
Yep. Thank you. So this started a whole kerfuffle between the vampires and the werewolves. So much so that they actually went on to full-on war with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now here I am. I have werewolves in my house. I'm in my basement. And I played my vampire being embraced during World War I. Okay? That's when my gangrel got embraced. He got embraced in the trenches of World War I. As like an American soldier. But I also my character also participated in World War II. So the STs and I sat down and talked about, like, would your character have taken trophies, things to remember the wars, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. And so we came up with several fun ideas. For World War I had a German helmet. Alright? Complete with a little spike on top.
Yep.
In World War II, I had a German soldier skull in my attic.
Mm-hmm.
This skull was haunted.
Yeah.
So I had basically a member of the German Socialist Workers Party, or whatever it was called.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to use the N-word because that could get me into trouble.
Sure.
At least I believe it can get me into trouble.
Yeah, I don't know the rules. You probably know better than I do.
Yeah. So I had a fun guy in my attic, constantly trying to torture me. And so here I am, I'm going, okay, where do I go? What do I do? How do I deal with this? And this whole fight. So, 2016, okay. So here we go. And now I get to deal with another fun thing where all the war's going on. And I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? What can I do to not have to have my house blown up?
Mm-hmm.
The werewolves then come to me with a solution. And I'm like, okay, what is the solution? And they go,
I mean, just look at you. You look like the oasis to some very, very thirsty
we gotta
travelers.
check in real quick.
That metaphor makes me uncomfortable.
Thank you for the check-in, Fairism 01. Thank you for that check-in. I appreciate it, and welcome. All right, where am I supposed to go? There's no water around here. Is that I'm supposed to fish off the wall? All right. So they kind of pseudo-adopted me into the tribe.
What are you doing? What do
Okay,
you
I
have?
can't come
No
off there.
potato chips. No, Roland. Roland, Vincent, bring those to me now.
All right, I'm a little lost here. Because it says there's a fishing hole around here, and I can't find it.
No chips.
Where's the water?
Where's the TV at?
Brenna, go talk to your dad.
Damn it, game.
Brenna,
What the hell? It says
Right,
Labyrinthos
come on.
X20.
I told you to get over here.
Okay, it said X20. 16
No, she was busy playing.
is the... Oh, no, that's up. So...
Anyway, do you
Sorry.
wanna...
I keep getting distracted off my story. My apologies.
do?
No. Talk to your dad.
So they ended up adopting me. And I sort of became the werewolf's pet vampire.
Which is, honestly pretty funny.
I found it amusing as hell. Though these are also the same STs that, because the trickster person was a female, they had her go into something that does not exist in werewolf, and that is a mating frenzy.
Can I
Oh, God.
go get
Yeah,
your tablet
it was
and have her
so
call you
dumb.
back so she can do it somewhere quiet. Is that okay?
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I said these guys were not exactly great STs.
I will only circle back to my character for a second. Can you guess which Garu tribe that I managed to befriend? And I will tell you, it's probably one of the last ones that you would guess would ever tolerate a vampire.
Wendigo?
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow, I got it in one go.
Yeah.
I thought, like, there's only a few that would really hate vampires. Like, Wendigo's one, Black
Yep.
Furies are another.
Yup.
Black Furies, like, have a hard hatred on vampires.
Yeah, but one of the plot lines that we dealt with in that game was like an early supernatural discovery of the North American continent, and my vampire was involved in that. And basically, he was befriending the Wendigo, trying to find like, is there purification rituals that we can do that will help with this? Basically trying to minimize his vampire nature, and yeah, apparently managed to impress them.
Oh, yeah. I will say the, for tabletop, though, because I haven't talked about my worst tabletop character that I had the least fun with. That belonged to my paladin. I believe I've talked about this story before.
Okay.
With the evil goblin assassin?
Yes, you have.
Yeah. That was possibly my worst tabletop experience. That was really gnarly. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I will say there is only one game where I've actually, I would say unintentionally, but it was also partially intentionally, I've actually destroyed a game. Alright. So, it was a Mage the Awakening LARP. And I played a group called the Dream Speakers. So I was big into spiritual magic. Because I was big into spiritual magic, there was a plot line going on where spirits were acting up and doing all kinds of crazy kooky things. And my character was like, okay, I'll help with this, I'll solve this, so on and so forth. Because my character was a summoner of spirits, and I basically was spending my mental energy to make my spirit stronger,
Sure.
I got automatically assumed to be the person causing the problem.
Okay.
Hey, AP! AP is here. Welcome, AP. This would normally not have been a problem if any of them talked to me, but a couple of the... Oh, God, what is it? It's the mage group that's really good at correspondence. God, I'm trying to remember their name. It's Mage, the Awakening. Is it Legacies? I think they're what they're called.
You got me.
Might be Orders. Nope, this is Mage the Awakening is not it. What is?
Are you
Mage
thinking
the
of
Ascension?
The Ascension, yeah.
All right. So with Mage the Ascension, I'm looking for traditions. All right. What are you called? I was a dream speaker.
Any cards you see like that, they're dead.
God damn it! I know it too. It's gonna drive me up a wall. Was it a virtual adept? Yeah.
I mean,
virtual
yeah.
adepts. That's the techie. You know, I'm really good at teleporting shit around kind of guys.
Yeah.
All right. So we had 2 virtual adepts in the game. One was like a full-on hacker. The other one was like hacker light.
Okay.
All right. They would hack by using their correspondence to teleport a cable connection to the computer so they could get around the security.
Okay.
It's like interesting way to do it. So they didn't like my character much, so they decided to have him arrested by hacking into a computer network of a police station and inputting crimes with my face. All right.
Okay.
So here I am. I get arrested. Here's the slight problem with my character, though. He always wore a face mask. Not like a whole mask, but covering his mouth.
Gotcha.
The reason why he did that is because part of my character's backstory was I did dumb when I was younger, and I got cursed with an entropy curse. And I was constantly breathing out mist, fog, every time I exhaled.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how warm the room was.
Right.
So I'm sitting here going, this is bad. So I send one of my spirits out to go tell everyone, hey, you need to get me out of this prison, this jail cell, because if they take off my mask, they're gonna figure out shit ain't good. Like, this is gonna go badly real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So their solution was, at that point, to input an execution order for me. So that way, I would get lethal injection, the next day.
That's
right.
Good.
So, the cops who were in the precinct realized that something is up.
Yeah.
Because that normally does not happen. All right?
You can't just send an execution order to the police station, no.
Yeah, that doesn't work. So they were looking at, okay, maybe someone's messing with us, we'll work with you. And they kept trying to get me to take off my mask. Damn it, AP with a fireball. I kept telling them I couldn't take off the mask for medical reasons. They weren't entirely believing me. It was getting bad. So it got to a point where they left me alone for the night with the mask on, saying, we'll bring a doctor tomorrow morning because it's so late at night, and we'll have him check you out and make sure that you're on the up and up. And then, in which case, we'll let you go. I knew that if the doctor saw me, bad shit was going to happen. So I used my spirit abilities and shifted myself into the spirit world. All right? And I went to the others and tried to figure out what was going on. And I hung out in the spirit world first to kind of peek into the normal world to see what they were saying and what they were doing.
Right.
And that is when I saw the 2 God damn it, I just forgot their names. Virtual adepts talking about how they got me imprisoned and that I'm going to be dead soon. So I'm like sitting there going, they're trying to kill me. This is not cool. This is not acceptable. And so I went to the STA and go, I can drag other people into the spirit world, correct? And he goes, technically, yes, that is a spirit spell that you have. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to drag his character into the spirit world. And I pointed at one of the two virtual adepts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Fun fact about the spirit world in Mage... oh, fuck, I forget the term. Not the Awakening, but the other one.
The Ascension.
Mage the Ascension is, if you don't have any spheres in spirit, you can't cast any magic.
In the spirit world.
In the spirit world. So, he didn't have any spheres in spirit.
Whoops.
And so, he's sitting there with his little computer, a pistol, and a knife, and I have about 6 or 7 big spirit monsters all around him. I went, you have exactly 30 seconds to basically agree to fix this problem, because if you don't, they're eating you. And he decided to pull his pistol and try to shoot me.
Okay.
And then they got.
He succeeded. He hit me. I took 3 lethal, and then my biggest spirit animal ate him in 1 bite.
Yep.
Like nom.
Nom nom. Yeah.
And so I contacted the other virtual adept and went, I just killed your friend. You have exactly 30 seconds to fix what you've done, because if you don't, you're next.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he basically tried to get the others to help deal with me, and that didn't work so well for him, because as soon as he basically took longer than 30 seconds to do what I told him, he got eaten.
Nom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I started just going through the entire mage cast, going one at a time, going, fix this problem. You're not going to fix it? Awesome. You're now spirit food. Until
the
eventually
spirits were
I got to
well-
the second to last mage, and they agreed to fix the problem, and I left them alone, and the city went from 13, 14 mages to 2.
Yep.
And they're like, fuck. And everybody was relatively pissed, and I'm like, none of you took spirit. Not a damn one of you took a sphere in spirit. It's not my fault.
You are all.
And I did what I needed to do in order
You
to keep
are
my
all
character
dumb.
alive.
You are all dumb.
He's not going to be
You're
dumb.
all dumb.
Yep.
The dumb
So,
for not
all in
taking
all,
your
they
sphere.
suffered the consequences of their stupidity.
Yeah. Stupidity, because they're stupid.
Rose, you need to go to bed. Bye-bye.
His mom always yelling at me.
Yes, she is. The only other thing I've ever done that's messed with the game is in every vampire game I've ever played in, whenever we had to deal with hunters, they always used sniper rifles. It's happened so often in multiple games that it's become a fucking trope.
Yeah, it's a cliche.
Yeah. Sorry, someone in my FC asked me what's going on. I just let him know. So I decided to shake up the idea when I played Vampire one time. I convinced a group of hunters to not use sniper rifles. Instead, they all wore explosive vests
Okay.
and walked up and hugged the vampire and exploded.
I mean, okay.
It actually turned out to be far more effective than the damn sniper rifles that the STs were throwing at us.
I mean, the problem being that your hunter character is also dead.
Well, no, I wasn't playing a hunter.
No, I mean the person who puts on the fucking explosive vest is dead now.
Oh, yes.
So the sniper rifle has one big advantage over the vest, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. But I had convinced this group of pseudo-hunters, like they were hunters with a small H.
Oh, I see. You were basically manipulating mortals to do your dirty work. Got it.
Yep, like every good vampire should. Because we had so many players, and like we had the little clique that was always doing their thing. So I got one of the narrators, not one of the head STs, to agree to let me do this. And they were walking up to vampires, giving them a big old hug and saying, "God forgives you," and then exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did I piss off people. Because for a long time, they couldn't figure out who the hell was doing it.
Right.
Until basically the STs did ST Fiat and metagamed and told the players who was doing it out of character.
Yeah.
Fine, go to bed.
And ergo, they now all hated me in character.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Alright. Let us go on to the next topic. I feel like we've done that one to death.
Yeah, I'd say that one's covered.
Worst fictional religion.
How quickly can I say Warhammer 40K?
Warhammer 40K. That's fair. That is a Would you like to explain your choice to the audience who has probably not experienced 40K much?
I mean, there's a lot of backstory that goes into it, but it boils down to, like, the Emperor of all mankind wanted to abolish religions because he knew that there was a psychoactive astral plane that meant if any sufficient number of people believed something, it could actually manifest, which would have dire consequences and attract the attentions of things that live in that space. His plan did not go the way he wanted it to, thanks to his son Horus betraying him, and he was essentially put into a state of living death, and as a result has become the center of the imperial cult. So now, not only did he fail to eliminate religion, he is effectively the godhead of a religion that spans the trillions of humans that live in the Warhammer 40K universe. Task failed successfully.
And what makes it worse is that they are not gentle about their religious beliefs.
No, I mean they could be compared to like the the Inquisition era of like the Catholic Church, like the Spanish Inquisition. They understand that there are chaos demons and things that live in the warp, so they're very overly cautious. Anyone who deviates from the norm in like strange technology, strange behavior, anything that's non-human, it's a very xenophobic, awful religion. And to be fair, the Emperor wasn't terribly keen on non-human life anyway, so you can kind of see where they're coming from on that one.
Yeah.
But it's just basically an excuse to make humans just absolutely shitty to every other race in the setting. Which, to be fair, almost all those other races are shitty to humans, because it's a grim, dark setting where everything's awful all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But that religion is, very, very, very bad. Like, in-universe, they're just horrible evil. And honestly, they're so over the top, I think, that they are worst in the other sense of, like, in a meta sense. Just like, oh my god, get over it.
Alright. So, that is, I would say, the worst religion, too. That's a good one. Other fun, bad religions. Final Fantasy 13. Let's make a cult that's all about the world ending and basically absorbing everyone's souls into one supreme being.
Knock it off, Rose!
And you playing as heroes, you fail to stop the world from ending. Over 3 fucking games. And in the second game, you have time travel. You have all this shit and you still fail. Like, the world still ends. But the third game, instead of, like, all the souls going to that one supreme being to make them all powerful, you just say, fuck it, we're taking them to the equivalent of heaven, and that's it. That's the victory condition. That's the good ending. It's like, game, what the fuck? Like, who thought this was a good idea? So there is that. 14 also has a really gnarly religion. It's all about worshipping the non-dragon races and basically murdering dragons. Which you would think, okay, that's not a terrible idea. How is it terrible? Well, the terrible part about it is the dragons are, for the most part, not completely at fault for starting the war. Because the humanoid races, one of their leaders, came over to one of the big old dragons, murdered the shit out of it, and ripped out its eyeballs and heart, and basically absorbed them for energy. And then they went to a second dragon, ripped out his eyeball, one of his two eyes, and absorbed and kept that as a wonderful souvenir.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck? But this is also a wonderful game where if enough people believe in something, and they have enough energy crystals to basically empower it, they can make a new deity-like creature. And a lot of them are not great. That's essentially what the Heavens Ward guys, the guys I just talked about, that killed all those dragons, that's what their end goal was. For their king to become a god. By absorbing enough dragon essence to do it. Like, damn, dude, that's shitty. So that's a really bad religion, I would say. You ever seen the Chronicles of Riddick movie?
I think I've seen it.
Do you remember?
It's been a while.
Do you remember the Necromongers?
I do remember the Necromongers.
That was a bad religion. Like, let's just murder everyone, so that way you get to be reborn as essentially an undead. And by the way, you keep what you kill.
Right.
So, backstabbing galore, zombies everywhere, and fucking crazy ass shit.
3, 2.
What was another? I'm trying to think of a good Star Trek one. Because I want to cover that base too.
Don't you?
Part of me wants to say the Paw Wraiths. That's a really gnarly one from Star Trek. I can't remember if there were any other religious groups in Star Trek. I know there have been others, but I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Get your ass to bed. I'm done with the behavior.
I can't remember. Star Wars, you got the Jedi and the Sith and their ideology, which might as well be a religion. Both of them kind of equally suck, just in different ways.
Yeah.
If I was going to say anyone had a good religion in Star Wars, with the more recent shows fleshing this one out better, I would say the Mandalorians.
Okay.
Weapons and armor are part of their religion. They're all about making each person uniquely strong. They're okay with mercenary work because they understand that you have to get paid. But you have to have, like, there's a certain rule set when you take jobs, essentially. And there are certain sects of the Mandalorian religion that have different edicts, like the Death Watch descendants can't remove their helmet unless sorry, they can't be seen without their helmet by any living thing. So like a droid can see it, but not a living thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like they always eat separately, they do stuff like that. But the cool thing about the religion that I liked was it really emphasizes, like, really well, small arm team tactics. So, like, having small squads of, like, 5 to 10 dudes going in and just wrecking house on entire armies. Because they are just so well, teamwork is so important to them. So that's a kind of cool thing. Alright. I can't think of any bad religions, though, in gaming, sci-fi, whatever.
I mean, there's always the trope of the corrupt religion where you've got people manipulating political power. That shows up in various sci-fi works.
I think the one that stood out to me when you mentioned that. You remember the movie Demolition Man?
Yeah.
That. What was it? Cocteau was his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His religion.
His little cult leader dick.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. That movie,
oh man.
That movie is a classic.
It is. It is very much a classic.
And I've noticed it only gets better with age. Like when it came out, it did not do that well. But
it was kind of a departure for Sylvester Stallone. I mean, Schwarzenegger had Last Action Hero around roughly the same time, where they were both essentially taking on a slightly more comedic action role, and audiences were like, what is this? Just go back to shooting people and delivering one-liners. But honestly, Last Action Hero and Demolition Man are two of my favorite fucking movies. Just their best work.
So, AP, here's my question. Do you want us to discuss that now? Or do you just want me to add it to the wheel and see if it comes up? Because we can discuss that now. Let's see what she says.
Sure.
Because her idea is best and worst game/fictional soundtrack.
Yeah, I have. I'm happy either way. We can go right into that one if you want.
I'd say let's go into that. That's a good option.
Okay, best is easier than worst, I think.
Okay, what's best for you?
I mean, there's a lot of best to mine here. Of course, the Star Trek, not Star Trek, Star Wars. Star Trek is good, but Star Wars is known for the John Williams soundtrack. John Williams is a master of the art form. He's done, Harry Potter. He's done Star Wars. He's done Indiana Jones. He's done Superman. Just absolutely fantastic soundtracks. But
AP says
here's what I'm.
AP just said John Williams is legend.
Yeah, I'm reading the chat.
Oh, sorry.
I will say this. I've kind of become accustomed to John Williams. Like at this point, even though he's nearing the end of his career, I am, sort of taking him for granted because, yeah, he's got all these bangers. He wrote the NBC Nightly News theme, the Olympics theme. There is some great stuff from John Williams. But you can almost always tell a John Williams tune. So it's not to say that all his stuff sounds the same, but it's a little less special when you have so many franchises sharing that kind of feel. So I will mention some other names. I think Jerry Goldsmith does a lot of good work for some of the Star Trek films.
Yeah.
He basically did the motion picture theme that later became adapted to the Next Gen theme, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Another one that I want to recommend is Danny Elfman. Now, Danny Elfman's work is very distinctive. He and his brother were from Oingo Boingo. They've done some very creative, offbeat work. But, of course, he did the cinematic Batman theme that was later adapted into Batman the Animated Series, which is just, again, fantastic. But I think the one I'm going to call out specifically is, I assume that you have seen, since you have kids, The Incredibles?
Yes.
Okay. The score for The Incredibles was done by a man named Michael Giacchino, and I may be butchering that pronunciation. I am not Italian. But it's incredible, no pun intended.
Gotta hydrate.
Gotta hydrate.
Thank you.
There's a moment in that film that it's basically, all the family have arrived on the island, to try to rescue Dad. They're being chased by these murder bots and these thugs, and Dash is running away from them at top speed, and he accidentally runs out onto water and discovers for the first time that he runs so fast that he can run on water. And what the fucking music is doing in that scene
yeah.
is just absolute chills, because like you've got all this action chase music, and then he runs out on the water and it goes to like this little plinking tune, like kind of mimicking his footsteps, like and then he kind of looks down and it just has this realization, and then he kind of laughs to himself, picks up speed, and takes off across the water, and the music just slams back in with all these horns. And I'm just like, that is what I want from a soundtrack. That is the best moment I have ever seen someone do a score for. Holy shit.
If I was going to make any comment about the Incredibles movie, it is the soundtrack from that movie fits a comic book, like an old-timey comic book feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's right there.
Well, I mean, they're intentionally evoking like the late 60s, early 70s. Like there's a lot of Fantastic Four kind of tropes there, and there's that feel of like 60s, 70s retro, like, and all the stuff. And these big band style orchestrations also remind me of like James Bond, which is another fantastic work. Like the James Bond themes. I mean, a couple of the main themes are bleh, but like the main Bond theme and the supplemental one they did for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, just absolute bangers. So yeah, I love big brassy music.
Oh yeah. The original James Bond theme, that yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I have not run into a person yet where if you play that, they don't recognize it.
Oh yeah.
They go, "Oh yeah, it's James Bond music," and I'm like, "Yeah." And that's a sign of a good, solid soundtrack.
Yeah.
Is that people who are not fans of that particular IP still can recognize it. Star Wars is the same way. Star Trek is kind of the same way. Not as to the extent of Star Wars and James Bond, but there. One of the soundtracks I love, at least gaming-wise, is the game I'm playing right now, 14. 14 has an amazing soundtrack. Now, there are some songs that just don't hit right, and they're like, okay, but most of them are really spot on. Some of the fight music is really well done. A lot of the area music is really chill, really nice. It's wonderful to listen to. I've even used it in D&D games before, just as like a town song or something.
Yeah.
It definitely hits. Another Final Fantasy, though, that really hits music-wise is a game I do not care for.
Okay.
And that's 8.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VIII's soundtrack is freaking amazing. It's one of the few things they did right. And to this day, I still listen to 8's soundtrack on occasion.
Sure. Going into game franchises, I have to say that there are a couple of game franchises that have absolutely just great soundtracks that I really enjoy. I will say I enjoy a lot of the chiptune style, almost electronic music from like the Mega Man series, especially Mega Man X. Like you got to go to YouTube and like call up Storm Eagle's theme and just listen to the theme from Storm Eagle's stage, and it is just fantastic. The Mario games have always had really great music. The Zelda games have always had really great music. The Metroid games do some really interesting, like, lower-fi, atmospheric, like, creepy music as you're kind of exploring. But for my money, the, like, classic gaming franchise with the best music is Castlevania.
Yeah, Castlevania did nail the music fairly well.
And Symphony of the Night, Symphony, it's right there in the title, just kind of collapsed everything into these beautiful orchestrated versions using the PlayStation CD technology to put CD quality audio, and we got like fully orchestrated versions of those themes for the first time. And yeah, okay, I'm biased. Symphony of the Night's my favorite video game of all time, but holy crap, it's just really solid music.
Stardew Valley I can totally be down for. I've heard its soundtrack quite a bit. It is very cool, very chill. I haven't played Outer Wilds, and I'm not sure I ever will. One, I don't have the game. Two, one of the things that kind of pisses me off with some games is massive repetition. Like playing an MMO, I don't mind doing the same action over and over and over again because I feel like I'm making progress. But games that have a repeating time loop built into the game does kind of aggravate me. Because I constantly feel like I've made no progress. Like, what I'm doing does not matter. Naja says Chrono Trigger.
Oh, I didn't even think about it for a second, but yeah, Chrono Trigger is one of the best JRPG soundtracks of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Magus theme, Frogs theme, end of story. Just, yeah.
Oh, man. I one of the programs I have on my computer is Stepmania, which is basically... Naja, I logged in just to say that. I have this program called Stepmania, which is basically DDR on your computer.
Okay.
All right. One of the things on it is a remix of Magus' theme in a techno format.
Okay.
And it sounds amazing. Like, all right, give me a second. You know what? I feel like it's time to share.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let me do this real quick. Let me get it up and running first. This will take me a moment, because I think I gotta find it first. Programs and games, Stepmania, there we go. All right. So give it a second. It takes a moment to load. So I'm gonna tell it to do Stepmania. All right. Oh, that looks like ass. All right. Oh, is this gonna? Oh, it's gonna look like ass no matter what I do. Awesome.
Hey, it looks okay on the stream side.
Yeah. Okay. This may be loud. Oh yeah, that's loud. Give me a second. All right, that should be better.
Okay, let's give it a try.
How's that?
Yeah, that works, I think. I have the stream down at like 3% because obviously I've got you through Discord.
Yeah. Alright. Give me a second. Here we go. It's called the Raw Trance Exhaustion. Alright, hopefully, if you guys can hear this, awesome. If you can't, please let me know. I will modify some volume. Alright. I have to play it with my keyboard. Does this sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the remix of the Magus theme. So what do you think, Gamera?
I like it. But now we're kicking into the real part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not great at this.
That's fair. I'm gonna turn off the volume so I don't hear myself talking, which always throws me.
Oh yeah, that always throws me off too when I hear myself talk.
But yeah, this is a fun little techno remix. There's some great like fully orchestrated versions that you can watch on YouTube for Magus and Frogs themes, which are just fantastic. I'm struggling to think of worst soundtracks because that's harder. Usually when I find a bad soundtrack to like a movie or TV show or game, it doesn't stick with me. Like usually the sin of the soundtrack is that it's dull.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So it's harder to remember for me.
I would say for bad soundtracks, and I know I'm gonna get hate for this, World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Its soundtrack in some areas is a spot-on, amazing soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many areas where it is just boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, for the love of the gods, please give me something more catchy than this shit.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, it's just... It's done so horribly. Now, like, for certain ones of their main themes, like, for example, their... Fedorian says, I multitask so often I usually have the sound off anyways. Yeah. Here's the thing for me when it comes to a game or a movie or anything. If you're in a game, if you are purposely turning off the soundtrack more often than not, but you're leaving the game sound on, that's usually not a good sign about the music.
There are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
I do tend to turn off the music in Minecraft, but it's not necessarily because it's bad.
It's just very repetitive.
It is repetitive, and honestly, like, all I want to really hear in Minecraft is the warning sounds of hostile entities near me. Otherwise, I do not need that soundscape.
Yeah. That's true. Another game that I usually turn off the music on, that I do not care for its soundtrack, is Star Trek Online.
Okay.
Music is just not good.
Is it too generically, just not anything?
How do I put it? If I were to say, like, imagine the most generic Star Trek theme you can picture. For, like, the most generic Federation theme, the most generic Klingon, the most generic Romulan. Okay? Sure. But make it not good. That's essentially the theme of the game. And you hear it almost constantly. And that what makes it worse is that is the non-combat theme.
Right.
Every faction, all 5 of them, including 6 of them. Because there's Klingon, Romulan, Federation, 23rd Century Federation. Hey, Dizental, I hope you're doing well as well, my bud, my dude. I hope you're having a great night. There's Discovery, Federation, and then the last one's Dominion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
While they have unique peacetime themes, where, like, if nothing's going on, you're flying your ship around, investigating things, they all have relatively different themes, but they're similar. The combat music is the same for all of them. Is this space fishing? No, there's water down there. It's just way down there, buddy. Like, it is far down there. But yeah, like, with Star Trek Online, all the combat music is the same. All of it. And I feel that's almost worse. Like, because when I play a Klingon in a Star Trek game, I want the fucking Klingon war chant, goddammit. I want to feel like I'm a goddamn Klingon at that point.
Sure.
And Star Trek Online does not make me feel like that. And if any faction should have its own unique combat music, it's the goddamn Klingons.
Yeah.
Like, Christ. I do not understand how they missed the mark that hard. I don't understand.
Yep.
So there is that. Where is Garlemald in Isambard? Yeah, Garlemald is in Isambard. Okay. Sorry, I had to figure out where I was going. So I feel like that was a big miss.
Okay.
A good hit though was Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Sure.
They nailed down the music beautifully. Every class has their own music. The Imperials have their own music. The Republic has its own music. There is just so many themes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, each class has their own heroic theme that plays whenever you activate your heroic moment.
Okay.
So
cool.
you have a button that changes the music, but also makes you a badass for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is cool as hell. I love that. That was like, wow, okay, let's do this. 23. Okay, so it's around.
I probably should remind you at this point that you were going to share that thing that you were sent.
Najo sent me. Yes. I should do that.
And we're about 5 minutes away from the end, so I figure I'd remind you before we were done.
Yep. Let me get this up and going. All right, let me move this over here. I think it will show it. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. So it's apparently Foo Fighters Rickroll fans live with Rick Astley singing "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Nice.
So we are all getting fucking Rickrolled.
Love you.
All right, here we go.
I unironically love.
So let me tell you something.
Oh, Jesus, that's loud. Let's turn that down to half.
Every once in a while, you meet a badass motherfucker that has the balls to come up and do something in front of 30,000 people that he's never done before. I would like to introduce that badass motherfucker right now.
Oh
Would
my
you
God.
please welcome the most badass motherfucker, Rick Astley, right now,
Oh no. Oh, we're gonna get Rickrolled. You know what the funny thing is? I heard once that he got Rickrolled once.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Dave. How are you? I'm good. Why are you fucking yelling at me right now? Because I'm very nervous, Dave. So, we can never reenact that fucking moment. Never. Ever. It can never happen again. Never. But watch this shit, because I feel like we're gonna make a new moment right now. Do it right.
All right, so he's playing some guitar. Oh, we got an ad break.
No.
All right, we'll wait 3 minutes for the ad break to pass before continuing. We are not going to let people miss this.
Wait, why the hell do I have an ad break?
You're not subscribed?
I thought I was. Hang on.
Do not miss the video. There we go. Oh my god, this is gonna be fucking wild. I'll tell you one theme though that got catchy. That surprised me. Critical Role Season 2.
Okay.
That video called Your Turn to Roll. Very catchy. Very, very catchy. Oh my god. Oh man, that... Alright, we're waiting. While we're doing that, I'm going to fly up to where I need to go. In my flying car.
Badass flying car.
Oh, yeah. This car was pretty much, for one game, a bachelor party. Or traveling bachelor party. The design is nice. I like it. We're waiting. 1 more minute until the ads are done. I'm sorry. Alright, summer around here is water. Because it said freshwater fishing. Okay. 50 seconds until it's done. Is it this? Oh yeah, it's gotta be this. Okay. Let's see. Hello? There we go. Alright, 30 seconds. Shoe fly. Ah! Alright. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ad break is over. Woo! Alright, continuing. Thank you, Naja, for the subscription. I appreciate you. All right. Oh my God, we're getting rickrolled. Alright.
I like the mashup with the Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Continue. Rose, go elsewhere, please. You just interrupted camera. Continue, man.
No, I was just saying I like the mashup with the Smells Like Teen Spirit backing track instead of the normal one.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It wasn't... Like, I wouldn't call that bad. It was definitely different. But we got rickrolled.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, now it's 9 o'clock. By the way, if you're looking for that video in its entirety, there you go. I have now rickrolled my entire chat. Oh, God. Alright, let's see who's on, what they're doing, all that jazz. Oh, by the way, before we go, there is something I'm going to share, which is... If I could type today would be nice. There you go. Anne's cooking lesson vote. Vote now. Make sure that we get multiple responses. Because so far, we've gotten 3 votes so far. And this cooking lesson... Yep. Sorry, man.
Vote early, vote often.
Yeah, vote early, vote often. So we're going to be doing that in October. So that's going to be a thing. All right. Let's see who's on and what are they doing. All right, we got Melissa in Denial doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Minor Mom's doing Minecraft. We got some Fortnite. Let's see. Grimm's doing Dead by Daylight. We got some Sea of Thieves. Got some Baldur's Gate 3. Alvo Sarah is doing Doom Eternal. That's a game with a freaking amazing soundtrack.
It is. That's a good point. Command and Conquer, honestly, we were talking about recently, had a solid soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, very very nostalgic, very very awesome. I don't know Starfield, so I don't know its soundtrack.
Yeah, it's new.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do Doom Eternal. That has a great soundtrack.
Okay.
Alright, so if you... Oh, come on, let me click right. If you are one of my followers, please use the following raid message when we go to raid Alistair. If you're one of my subscribers, please use the following raid message. Tomorrow will be Wildcard Wednesday, where I will be playing Knights of the Old Republic. So lots of Star Wars action there. Other than that, please make sure you're taking care of yourselves mentally and physically. That's always important. Remember, in my tavern, it is always time for tea here. And that I know you guys come to my tavern for the witty banter, but you stay for my fuck-ups. So I hope to see you all soon. Please stick around for the raid. Until then, toodles!
Poodles.